My brother-in-law made fun of my disability and my girlfriend didn't stand up for me.
So much for family sticking together.
I, 30 male, was born with a bone missing in my arm. As a result, I only have one digit. If that wasn't enough, it was in a fixed position with my digit up by my shoulder, and the ligament and tendons didn't really develop, so I can't straighten my arm. By the way, this comes from One Armed Cook, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. My parents were great at making sure I would be independent and able to live by myself. Some things I can't physically do, like tie shoelaces. For the most part, I can cut anything by myself, but I struggle with doing fine dices. Every other month or so, my mom will finally cut some vegetables for me, usually onions, celery, and carrots, so that I can freeze them. I asked her to do this when I lived on my own for the first time because I was fed up of sending onions flying all over my kitchen if I used a knife or it turning into mush if I used the food processor. When my girlfriend, 28 female, started dating, she told me that she couldn't cook, but also didn't have an interest in learning to cook. I said this was fine because I like to cook, so when she moved in, I became the de facto cook. She has never expressed a problem with my mom cutting vegetables for me. She actually preferred it, as she had said she couldn't cut them finely for me. Her brother, 35 male, is currently staying with us and has been for the last 4 weeks since his ex threw him out because of how lazy he is. He doesn't have a job. I don't think he has for the 3 years I've been with girlfriend, nor is he looking for one. We were his last resort because no one else would take him in, not even their parents. My mom came over yesterday with the freezer bag of diced veggies for me. Brother-in-law was annoyed when he saw my mom with the veggies because that morning girlfriend and I had spoken to him about not being lazy and get a job because he's an adult and needs to stop relying on people like a child. Girlfriend's words, not mine. He was annoyed because he saw me as being a hypocrite because I was getting my mom to cut things for me like a child. Or perhaps this man has one arm
and one digit.
And one digit.
Like, there's a difference between getting your parent to like do things for you to make it easier and just refusing to get a job.
Yeah, like you have no excuse. After my mom left, he accused her of mollycoddling me and treating me like I'm incompetent. For me, this crossed a line because this is something I physically can't do, and my mom's just being helpful. I told brother-in-law that I wanted him to leave and that he was no longer welcome in my home. Girlfriend moved in with me to my house, and girlfriend was upset that I asked her brother to leave as I made a decision without her input and left with him. Good, honestly. You freeloaders can get out. We don't want you here.
Who's paying the bills though? Like if it's OP paying the bills mostly, like
yeah.
I feel like then it's more of OP's decision. If it's like a joint thing where they're splitting the rent, then I think maybe it should have been a joint decision.
I agree.
At that point.
I do think it should have been a conversation, but also he was incredibly rude and he's been living there for a month. It's like, okay, just get out.
But also insulting the homeowner is not, it's not how you keep your welcome going.
If you're going to live there for free, maybe watch your mouth. Since brother-in-law and girlfriend left, I have texts of him and their family accusing me of being a mummy's boy, telling me I need to cut the apron strings and cut my own vegetables like an adult. Girlfriend hasn't answered my texts. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother-in-law to leave? And edit, I do use frozen veggies. They're great for a lot of applications, but definitely not for fresh eating. I get some of the harder veggies like butternut squash already cut up and frozen, though frozen onions I seem to only be able to get sliced. My local supermarket does have prepared veg in the fruit and veg department, but it honestly doesn't look great. The onion in particular is always slimy looking. I do actually need to get a new veg chopper like the slap chop or the box ones that people have suggested. My niece, 3, broke my last one trying to help me cook. Aw. My sister offered to replace it, but I told her it was an accident and she didn't need to do that. I've seen links to a couple that look better than the one I had, where I might be able to cut as finely as I want, so I'm gonna order one and give it a try. And there are some relevant comments. Safarius X says, not the a-hole, you should seriously reconsider your future with this woman. Not only is she too lazy to cook, but she wants you to coddle her and her brother, yet allows her family to mock you for your disability. This is disgusting, OP. This is not something an adult, let alone a partner, does. Her family really can't say much about being spoiled while their daughter can't even cook for herself and their son is a freeloading bum who can't look after himself. Info, what chores does she do, if any? Does she work? Did she contribute to the house equally? I'm asking as the comment about her letting you cook for her irks me. And then OP says, she does work. She's got a part-time receptionist job. She does do some chores, but I've got to ask her if she'll do it. If she's washing clothes, she'll only wash hers, not mine. She does contribute towards the bills, but it's not a 50-50 split because of the difference in our incomes. She doesn't pay towards the house or house upkeep. This was on the recommendation of my dad in case we split up, because then she would be able to go after my house as she paid towards it. And Safarius X X says she does do some chores, but I got to ask her to do it. If she's washing clothes, she'll only wash hers, never mine. Severius responds, I'm sorry, what? You're talking about a fully grown woman, not a teenager. Dude, run. Your dad saw this woman for what she was ages ago. Fuzzy Biscotti 7959 says, not the a-hole, but why did you let brother-in-law move in if you knew he was thrown out because he's lazy? Brother-in-law, jobless for years, doesn't actively look for one, doesn't help around the house. Didn't those things sound your alarms? OP says she fed me a lot of false promises that he was going to try and that he would help around the house, that it would only be for a couple of nights, that family should help family. I stupidly relented, thinking that maybe he'd change. Fiery Artemis says, not the a-hole, and I find it a big red flag that your girlfriend doesn't know how to cook and doesn't want to learn either. The least she could do is chop the veggies for you, so that way your mom doesn't need to take the time to do it and then drive them over to you. However, your mom sounds awesome for helping you like that. And OP says, see, this didn't bother me at the time. I like to cook, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a bit grating at times doing all the cooking. My sister tells people that she doesn't cook or want to learn to cook, but she can and does cook. So at first I thought she meant it like my sister did. She tells people this so that she won't be asked to cook for our family Christmas meal, but she does still host Christmas when it's her turn, but she takes us out or we order takeout. And there is an update, but do you have any thoughts?
My thoughts are like, what interested OP to the girlfriend in the first place? Because it doesn't seem like she's ready to
what does she offer?
Commit to the relationship, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't, like, she only does half the laundry. She doesn't commit fully to like paying half the bills. She has to be asked to do chores, and then she brings her brother in and like lies about what he's doing. So like, what brought them together in the first place? And like, where would this relationship have gone if not for this stuff with the brother?
Well, I'm wondering if it, originally when they weren't living together, it probably was a little bit better, and then living together has kind of revealed all of these, personality defects in his girlfriend. But yeah, OP is not the a-hole. The brother was doing nothing. His girlfriend was doing nothing. And they were both critiquing OP for getting vegetables chopped. So ex-girlfriend came around this afternoon to collect her belongings. It was very anticlimactic, but I'm not upset that she's gone because she showed me her true colors. Though she blamed me for it all and has not apologized for her or her brother's actions. She had written a post on her Facebook on Saturday, basically bad-mouthing me, calling me all sorts of names, and said that I was a mummy's boy and refused to cut the apron strings. I didn't see it. I don't have Facebook, but my sister, 28 female, did, and she screenshot it and sent it to me. The comment section was a dumpster fire because her friends were saying things like, of course he needs help. He has one arm. That's so funny. Her friends are in her comments going, you idiot. Oh my God.
What does she expect to do now? Where is her support system?
And telling her that she should be helping me. She has since deleted the post. You freaking idiot. Of course that makes you look bad. I'm glad that her friends were like, he has one arm. Why aren't you chopping the vegetables? To complain about someone else making you food is wild.
There's always that one friend in the group, and it's her.
Yeah. After my sister saw the post, she called her uncle to let him know what had happened and suggested that he came around and changed my locks for me because she didn't trust ex-girlfriend and wanted to make sure I was safe. As ex-girlfriend left, my uncle arrived to change the locks, which angered her. She got upset and asked if we didn't trust her. I hesitated, and my uncle smirked and said, no. After ex-girlfriend left, my uncle teased me about it taking so long to realize she wasn't a nice person. None of them liked her, but didn't say anything because they could see I was happy. Apparently, she and my sister loathed each other as my sister was angry about the way she was treating me. I was just too enamored to see it. And you can be enamored in full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a teeny bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
It's just like, how far would this have gone?
Yeah.
Had that not been that one blow up, like how much more advantage would have been taken over OP? Like,
yeah. Like if the brother hadn't stayed.
How much more bullying would there have been? How much more abuse? How much would it have? Because the longer that festers, the worse the blow up is going to be.
Yeah. She played her hand too early.
It's only been 4 weeks now. Let's say maybe 2 months down the line when the brother is established to have been living there. I don't know if this is probably not in the US because they're using mummy as instead of mommy. I've noticed it's a UK.
I think it's a UK, yeah.
But I don't know what the law is there, but if the brother-in-law was able to establish that was his residence and was getting mail there, good luck getting rid of him.
Yeah. So, really hard with squatting.
This is a really good thing.
Yeah, you realized it's good to get rid of both of them, honestly. But OP continues, my sister has also sent me the number of one of her friends, Jane, 29 female, and told me that Jane is waiting for me to text her for a date when I'm ready. Dang! And that this is the last time she's giving me the number of a friend. I've known Jane for years through my sister. She's lovely and I do like her. We get on incredibly well, but Jane was in a long-term relationship before I got with my ex. Jane works as a chef in a local hotel and has previously offered to help me with shopping because she's a good egg. Ooh. So there's that. But that is the end of that story.